At least as far as the WNBA is concerned, we will never have peace. Angel released this advertisement. I'm not sure if it's a part of a bigger campaign with similar themes in similar locations, but given the location of the WNBA All-Star Game and the players on the Indiana Fever in the city where the game is held, it's likely to draw some attention. Angel Reese strode into the spotlight as if she were walking onto a stage that had been created especially for her, only to find that the stage crew had already packed up, the lights had gone down, and the audience had left early. She genuinely believed she could duplicate Caitlin Clark's magic, which is the real twist. Not with abilities, not with genuine attraction, but just by being close enough to admire the mirror, as though being near excellence was equivalent to achieving it. Baby goat over baby giraffe. A comment below. Let's go if you're riding with CC. Angel bound me. Say a prayer. You're just important because you keep bringing up my priceless CC. Reese, you wish to pull up your Reebok billboard advertisement in Indiana that mentions you in her trap. Stop it, man. Get out of there. Do you hear me? Be careful not to fall into any traps. My dear CC. Genuine conversation. Do you hear me? Ultimately, she doesn't do those kinds of things. Indeed. Do you hear me? In the end, don't put that on, don't put it on, don't put that with her name. It's your business if you're a trap. Do you hear me? Whatever the situation, there is reason to be proud of that. The major coming out party for Angel Reese was scheduled for the 2025 WNBA All-Star Weekend. She finally had the opportunity to shine and leave Caitlin Clark's shadow. That's what she told herself, anyway. She planned to launch her I'm in Your City marketing campaign, release her signature Reebok sneaker, and transform Clark's hometown of Indianapolis into her own playground. It seemed like the ideal strategy on paper, but there was a severe lesson from reality. Charm cannot be faked, and emulating someone else's brand is most definitely not a good way to develop your own. Here, people with credit card debt are waiting in line to purchase Angel Reese's iconic sneaker. You can use the Mebound power one more in this situation. Is she going to save it? No. What? Everyone is paying to watch Angel Reese get well. This image is made by Kelsey Plum. She'll get paid more. When it comes to our rebounding queen, we are all in. Indeed. Boom. I adore rebounds. Indeed. Did you notice that final rebound, Jimmy? It was really ill. She did it once more, yes. Reebok. Let us now discuss the footwear in question, the Angel Reese one, which was released by Reebok in. It was hailed as the future of women's basketball footwear and came in two colorways, Diamond Dust and Mebounds. Reebok made a significant investment, saturating the All-Star celebrations with advertisements and scheduling the Mebounds debut for maximum visibility. Unfortunately for them, publicity does not always translate into excitement, particularly when your timing goes horribly wrong. Literally make your debut. When she portrays Caitlin Clark, it must be. Since Caitlin didn't play during their trip to Chicago and isn't playing in this game, it is evident that they will make their debut during All-Star Weekend. At All-Star Weekend, they will make their debut. The idea was to actually go and use it with Caitlin Clark serving as the launcher. The foundation of Reese's approach was the vital but seriously faulty premise that Caitlin Clark's All-Star status would ensure a ton of attention, which would subsequently translate into significant sales. She didn't make an effort to win over admirers with her own skills. She placed a bet with the house that she would be elevated simply by being in Clark's orbit and sharing the court. It had nothing to do with competing or even outshining Clark. Riding on the coattails of someone who already has room command was the goal. It's one of those situations where everyone is acting as one, and it's obvious that one side is attempting to take advantage of everything. There is competition. Regardless of the antagonism, one side is doing everything in their power to maintain unity since that is where they will be most effective. However, Destiny had other ideas. Shortly before the All-Star break, Clark sustained a groin ailment that kept him out of action and forced him to watch from the bench while wearing street clothes. Her absence also cost the WNBA its top draw, which was the one thing it couldn't afford to lose. A midweek game in the middle of nowhere may become a national event thanks to Caitlin Clark's skill. The enthusiasm vanished without her on the floor, but a part of me wonders if this is truly required. but a part of me wonders if this is truly required. Furthermore, shouldn't Angel Reese be able to promote herself at this stage without mentioning or even hinting at a relationship with Caitlin Clark? Because if I'm telling the truth, people say that that moment was significant. It will always be alive. That moment will never die. However, Caitlin Clark was already headed in this direction. If anyone has profited more from the attachment, it's the numbers, at least in terms of attention. With 3, Clark's performance in the 2024 All-Star Game broke records. 44 million people watched. It was a cultural event rather than merely a game. In 2025, Clark is absent, and the ratings plummet to only 19 million. That represents a startling 36% decline in viewing. Additionally, it took place in Clark's backyard in Indianapolis. The moment Taylor was unable to play, an event she had planned to take advantage of her presence fell apart. Thus, there was a 36% decrease in the WNBA All-Star Game. That's a lot. Compared to last year, that is more than a third. The previous year was over 3. It dropped from 4 million to just 1. Is it a success, you might ask now? Yes, there are still a lot of women participating in women's sports, but when you think about it, it's not really a success. The only sport in play is this one. You can only draw that, and it's the only game that's active. This is the case with all of the stars. Guys, keep in mind that Reese had to witness the entire campaign go apart in front of her. They have lost over half of their worth. Couldn't even be saved by scalpers. At an all-star event, fans weren't waiting in line without the only celebrity that they genuinely cared about. However, when the ratings for the WNBA All-Star Game were released, the first thing that came to mind was 4 small letters. FAFOF, around to learn more. You snoop around and discover what this league is like without Caitlin Clark attending your most important gatherings. This should be the ideal illustration, Kathy Engelberg, of why you need to clean up your officiating and speak with your league players. And Reese's tone-deaf "I'm in your city" campaign perfectly captured the blunder of it all. The idea was audacious and perhaps haughty. As though announcing the acquisition of territory in someone else's realm, she spread the campaign throughout Indianapolis. Here's the catch, though. Clark had not even put on his suit. Due to her injuries, she was unable to protect her city. Reese didn't appear brave because of that. While the genuine queen was momentarily removed from her throne, she appeared to be attempting to usurp a crown. Hey Joel Reese, this is the weekend edition of All-Star. What say you? Let's get it. Well, as they say, 4 is more. An indie is shouted out by her devoted followers. All. There were 4 of them. And an uncle who is intoxicated. Examine the definition of unemployment. You didn't watch the All-Star Game? What do you mean? I take it that you have a social life? What is meant by butter pecan? It is thought-provoking. It motivates people. I'm a curry, though. The campaign was widely publicized. Dominance is shouted via billboards, internet advertisements, slick movies, and eye-catching captions. Ree even captioned Instagram clips that she shared. There was no real opposition to overcome, but it was a full-fledged takeover effort. I'm in your city, with phrases like, walk in your trap, take over your trap. You can hardly dribble, I see. You intentionally miss layups. And they note them down as rebounds and meows. You're just inflating your stats. Your players are not elevated by you. You attended an LSU stack. Do you hear me? You are owned by my beloved CC. Are you curious about the record? Against you, she is 5-2. That championship was the only time you defeated her in college. However, what transpired in the next year? You were sent home by her. Do you hear me? And give your coach a wave. Do you hear me? Fans weren't even somewhat duped at the conclusion of the day. Criticism erupted on social media platforms. One person remarked, "There are more photographers than fans at this launch, LOL," while another tweeted, "She can't even sell her shoe without piggybacking off Caitlin Clark." It sounded like someone celebrating a forfeit as though it had been a fair fight. It doesn't make you a winner to try to win against someone who wasn't even in the competition. All it does is make you appear desperate. The WNBA All-Star Weekend is expected to be the most anticipated event of the year. The larger dogs are all gone. Brianna Stewart, Sabrina School, Asia Wilson, yeah, all of them. Everyone has left. The large dogs are not there. You have Angel Reese, the rookie, and Miss Me as well. The stars are all present. And observe to this news. Following the announcement that Caitlin Clark would not be playing, the admission price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis was decreased by 48%, from $121 to just $64. Let's stand back and fully explain this. During All-Star Weekend, Angel Reese was prepared for success. The alleged queen of the moment was in Indianapolis. She was launching her own Reebok trademark shoe. Her advertisements were all throughout the city. Her social media staff was working non-stop. Additionally, the marketing apparatus was putting in extra hours. Crickets, however, there is no genuine excitement or buzz. And shot across your bow, sending a clear message. Okay. And your ship, well, that action will sink without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA, and all of their pay us what you owe us action. That will sink the action. Whoosh! Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA All-Star Games ratings decline. It's also unsightly. It's really unsightly. Who is this? In a cunning PR effort, the WNBA even attempted to spin the aftermath by drawing comparisons between the 2025. The 2023 All-Star audience of 850,000 was a victory, conveniently avoiding the 2024 elephant-size number. When everyone could see through the smoke curtain, even though Caitlin Clark was the main attraction. In reality, they were stating that they had reverted to their pre-relevance levels of interest and niche status in Clark's absence. And if you needed further evidence, check out what happened on Friday night. Both the skills challenge and the three-point competition brought in 32 million viewers, almost twice as many as the previous year. But let's face it, Angel Reese fans weren't watching. That remained the aftershock of Caitlin Clark. In an attempt to get a peek of the player who made all the difference, many tuned in. The two of you are not comparable. Do you hear me? She also has a Nike contract for $28 million. Reebok is inferior to Nike. I checked last time. Angel Reese too. You said that Indianapolis was unsafe and bigoted the last time I looked. What brought you here? Since you might have simply observed from above. Do you hear me? So, allow me to explain. Please don't associate a trap with my beloved Cece. She is unaware of the definition of a trap. After all, she may be aware of the difference between a mouse trap and a rat trap. However, please do not do anything else. No, that is not what we will do. For Angel Reese, it was more than just lousy timing that was the issue. It was an inability to comprehend the true nature of stellar power. She had a look at Caitlin Clark's possession. Sold-out sneakers, a huge Nike sale, countless press stories, and the idea that I can do it too. She believed she could duplicate the demand after witnessing Clark's Nike Kobe 5 Pro drop sell out in less than 60 seconds, with resale prices skyrocketing above $600 for a sneaker that retailed for $190. Here's what she didn't understand, though. The brand of Caitlin Clark isn't about gimmicks and logos. The issue is earned loyalty. Ad campaigns are the reason why her admirers don't come up. They come because they have faith in her. Years of top-tier play, sincere interviews, clutch plays, and unadulterated love for the game helped Clark earn that trust. Thus, Nike gave her that $28 million 8-year contract. It was more than just a salary. It was an investment in a figure that only comes around once in a generation. Experts estimate that her 2026 signature shoe might bring in between $100 million and $150 million. Furthermore, such prediction isn't a wishful thought. Packed arenas, top-tier ratings, a player-to-fan bond that is stronger than ever, and actual facts serve as its foundation. Now contrast that with Reese's All-Star Weekend Reebok release. At best, the reception was subdued. With all the flair Reebok could generate, her Angel Reese 1 plummeted. But there was simply no enthusiasm. The rollout didn't feel brave, and the public hardly batted an eye. It was needy. Thus, this was one of his brilliant choices. I'm signing Angel Reese. She is the queen of like fish out of water, chasing a rebound that she shot herself and will never be able to get in the net. She makes me think of a 3-year-old shooting on those tiny children's nets, throwing the ball, and then running back to catch it, then shooting quickly again, but the ball never makes it close to the hoop. That's what it is if you haven't seen her perform. Place that picture here. She is that. The problem seems to be understood even by Reebok's own management. An unintentionally exposing moment occurred in Shaquille O'Neal's Power Moves, a Netflix documentary series. Shaq was overheard stating that Reese should be fully outfitted with Reebok apparel, especially while he was competing against Caitlin Clark. Translation: only with Clark in the picture does her brand really shine. It's a harsh reality. Reebok was openly planning how to make Ree relevant by associating her with the person she is frequently compared to, rather than marketing her as a standalone star. Behind-the-scenes commentary like this is what utterly destroys the appearance of independence. Angel Ree wasn't being lifted. The idea was to take advantage of Caitlin Clark. After the All-Star celebrations ended on Sunday night, Ree posted a somewhat overt message on social media. The players made this the most enjoyable experience I've had in a long time. I want to thank all of you. Let's get back to the regularly planned program. The players' all-caps attire appeared to be a barely veiled swipe at the Indianapolis fans, who, ironically, had treated her with a great deal of grace throughout the weekend. After a weekend that had obviously not gone as planned, it was a strange message to send. I have no idea what the Rays were thinking, man. She wanted her $1,000 shoe, which had just been released a few months prior. Now, let me tell you, I'm all for players getting their shoes, getting a shoe deal, and having their ideal shoe designed for them and other fans. I adore you, but $1,000 for a shoe? I do. However, you have undoubtedly been on some lately. I will tell you the truth. Indeed, you have. But no, $1,000. However, the harm was irrefutable by that point. In an attempt to boost her shoe debut, Ree had turned All-Star Weekend into her own commercial, relying on high TV ratings and buzz driven by Clark. However, she received a harsh reality check-in instead of fireworks. Her pushy, "I'm in your city" approach came off as more of a desperate campaign than a self-assured power move, and viewership and enthusiasm declined. What we saw was more than a failure in marketing. It was a complete revelation of how little some people know about what real influence looks like. Fans aren't drawn to Caitlin Clark because of her effective marketing. She draws fans, which helps her obtain good marketing. Contrary to Ree's apparent perception, the cause and effect cycle operates in reverse. When Clark sells out an arena, it's not because her performance is advertised on a billboard. The reason for this is that her supporters are already waiting in line. It's not a savvy promotion when her shoes vanish in a matter of minutes. Her audience takes a personal interest in her path, which is why Reese completely missed this, as evidenced by her all-star plan. She believed that with some bold movements in Clark's hometown, a memorable tagline, and a few ostentatious marketing buys, she could generate demand comparable to Clark's. However, it is not how star power operates. You can't wear it as a costume. It is developed gradually, created during tremendous times, and solidified by humility and constancy. Without laying the groundwork, Reese desired the outcomes. And it was evident. Her campaign did not simply end. It demonstrated the difference between those who are already famous and those who are attempting to become so. She is so awful that the other week, when she and Caitlin Clark were scheduled to compete, after Caitlin Clark was hurt, ticket sales dropped from $100 to about $5. She wasn't playing because of a quad ailment. Guess what then? No one was interested in watching. For those who are unfamiliar with Caitlin Clark, she is the WNBA's GOAT and the main attraction. You're not being watched, Angel Reese. Nobody is observing you. All of the TikTok videos of you repeatedly missing every shot you take are the only things I want to watch. Neither Angel Reese's billboards nor her shoes will be remembered at the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game. It will be remembered for the consequences that occur when a league loses its star player, even for a short time. One thing was evident from the 36% decline in ratings, the sharp decline in ticket prices, and the general shrug from the audience. Clark is the star, not merely one of many. Additionally, the product suffers when she is not playing. For a period, it was a challenging but worthwhile lesson for Angel Reese. Connecting your brand to Caitlin Clark's shine is not only unsuccessful, but it is also clear that you are trying to market yourself. Supporters are not stupid. They are able to distinguish between people who are acting and those who are not. And at this moment, authenticity is crucial. The figures are honest. The audience for the broadcast is honest. There is no denying the demand at the box office. And that became quite evident this past weekend. Caitlin Clark is the driving force behind the WNBA's excitement, momentum, and future. Caitlin Clark is not Angel Reese, despite the fact that she is. And if we learned anything from this All-Star weekend, it's that attempting to act otherwise would only result in failure. Attempting to replace someone that fans genuinely care about won't win them over. Furthermore, you most certainly don't take over a city that never belonged to you in the first place. Baby goat over baby giraffe. A comment below. To ensure you don't miss anything, like and subscribe if you're riding with CC. We'll see you in the next one. Click the video on the screen.